Welcome to Presenting at May Institute, How to Construct Your Presentation and Helpful Hints. This video was designed for adjunct faculty at Pikes Peak Community College to assist them in preparing for their presentation. So let's begin with, what is May Institute? Essentially, it's the final task in the Adjunct Advancement Program for both Tier 2 and Tier 3. The primary goal of May Institute includes the following: sharing 3 techniques, lessons that you've learned in professional development, explaining how you've implemented those lessons into the Pikes Peak Community College classroom, and then explaining how you've assessed, were they successful or not. Stephen Brookfield says, "Good teachers should be good thieves." We love this sentence because we have a secondary goal at May Institute, and that is to learn new ideas from our peers, humorously stated, stealing from one another. We also want to build new relationships with peers that we might not have an opportunity to meet otherwise, and truly creating a model of collegial discourse. So let's take a look at the agenda. We start at 8:30 in the morning with the sign-in table and coffee bar. Notice at 9 a.m. the event actually begins with a welcome. We'll do event expectations, and then we'll separate groups into presentation rooms. Cohorts will go into each of the presentation rooms at 9:30. There'll be about 5 to 6 people that will be in each room in a cohort, so we'll probably have 10 to 12 rooms in use. Each of the cohorts will be very diverse groups because we really want to include that in community building piece, that secondary element that we really want to make peer connections. At noon, we'll return back to a larger group, have lunch distributed, and at 12:30 we'll have a lunch reflection and celebration. So how to prepare for timing of the presentation. So each presentation will be 15 minutes overall. So I want you to think about it in terms of 3 small increments of 5 minutes each per lesson. In that lesson, you're going to explain what you've learned in professional development, how you implemented it in your classroom at Pikes Peak Community College, and then how you assessed it for its effectiveness or not. At the end of your presentation, there'll be 5, almost 10 minutes of presentation opportunity for you to have a discussion with your peers. They can ask questions, you can ask clarification, maybe even bridging ideas of how you could move into your classroom as a result. So what you're looking at is 5 to 6 people really just kind of delving into a discussion at the end of your presentation. So speakers will present back to back with that discussion at the very end. So what I want you to think about overall is time conscious. Each person will have about 20 to 25 minutes total. That's their presentation and the discussion at the end. So is there a difference between Tier 2 and Tier 3 presentations? No, essentially both presentations will include the following: sharing 3 teaching techniques learned in professional development, how you're going to implement them in the Pikes Peak Community College classroom, and then how you assess them for effectiveness. The only difference will be that you'll apply professional development you've taken in Tier 2, and then apply that to your Tier 2 presentation, and then apply professional development, or PD, that you've taken in Tier 3 to the Tier 3 presentation. So how to construct the presentation? Let's start here with step 1. Look back and reflect on the 16 units of professional development that you've taken in the tier that you're working on. What were those teaching techniques, lessons, ideas that really resonated with you? What are those ones that you were so impacted by that you wanted to include into your classroom at Pikes Peak Community College? What we're looking here for is avoiding passive attendance. Professional development training should be active. You should go with the idea of, what can I extract and take back to my students at Pikes Peak Community College? We're trying to build a culture of actively learning new ideas and really embedding them into the classroom. The idea here is also to share the professional development you attended, sparking that idea with the peers in your cohort. Sometimes they don't know about other opportunities of professional development, so sharing what professional development you attended is crucial to the presentation, but also explain why it was impactful to you, why it was something that you thought would be worthy to put into your Pikes Peak Community College classroom. These are crucial elements to include in your presentation. Step 2, after you've chosen those 3 impactful lessons that you've learned, share how you customize the training to make it that technique or that class or that lesson that you included into your Pikes Peak Community College classroom. Offer example of the instructions you gave to the students, Explain how the assignment was actually given in class. You could even do a short demonstration and actually get your audience to engage and experience the assignment as well. Be really specific here. Your peers may want to steal your idea. Step 3. So explain at this juncture how you assessed its effectiveness. You can share the student observation after you did that new technique or idea, what you observed in the students. You can share a class discussion that you had after that technique was used in your classroom. What did the students say? What did they verbally express to you was wonderful or maybe not so wonderful about this new lesson or technique? You can even do student feedback in written form and capture their ideas that way. Obviously, there's various CAT techniques. Those are classroom assessment techniques. This piece is crucial to include. Assessment is crucial to share in the May Institute presentation, because what we're looking here for are the things that worked amazingly well, because it gives you that spark to continue to do so in the future. But it's also okay to share ideas that didn't work so well. Maybe students didn't hit the mark like you wanted it to. The student feedback will give you those pieces that you can improve, make a little bit of edit, and make it better for the future idea or the semester that you want to use it in. Maybe even in some cases it's a complete bomb, and those are okay to share as well. We all have these fabulous new ideas, and sometimes they fall short in the classroom. The goal here is assessment allows us to customize it for our students at Pikes Peak Community College. We want to impact them in the most positive, effective way possible for their growth. Students succeed at Pikes Peak Community College because of this. Presentation aids are wonderful to include. PowerPoint is usually very often used. Here is a little video of a humorous example of what to avoid. This video is called Life After Death by PowerPoint, and it's a simple little YouTube video. I'm actually not going to show it to you here now in this explanation, but I do encourage you to watch it at a later time. It's a short 3-minute video. If you type in Life After Death by PowerPoint into YouTube, this video will pop up. Please go out of your way to listen to it at a later time. It's silly, light, and funny, but it also expresses the things of what to avoid in terms of PowerPoint. Handouts. We highly encourage the use of handouts at the May Institute presentations. Think about it in simple terms, 1 to 2 pages only. This is not a thesis. We don't want to do information overload to our peers. But what it does do is it gives a place that we can ask for more detail, look for the pieces that we might want to implement into our classroom, and we can even go up to a peer after the event, say, this is a great idea, I'd love to do it in my classroom, and then you write their name and contact information on that handout so you can reach out to them at a later time. Participants obviously can take notes on their handouts, as I've just expressed, but it's a model of stealing ideas too, sharing with your peers the things that really worked. So not only are you doing this for your peers in your cohort with your handout, but then you're also going to walk away with handouts from the presentations that you were able to listen to from your peers. So it's such a great active way of sharing and also getting ideas for yourself that you may be able to use in your own classroom after this event. Audience analysis. This is a piece that you really want to be thoughtful about. Your audience members are your peers. They're not your students. So this seems really silly to express this piece, but we're really good at being teachers. Yay! But our mode is to talk to our students, not necessarily to our peers. And we really do speak differently to our peers. We use different language. So just kind of being thoughtful of who our audience is important. Humor is absolutely appreciated in the presentation. Self-deprecating works best, particularly if we have a wonderful idea that we've learned in professional development, implemented into our classroom, and then assessed it and found out that it did not go so well. Those moments are laughter. They're places of being silly, and we've all been there. We've all had those places of, woohoo, uh-oh, didn't work so well. So we can kind of glean from each other and learn from each other as well through laughter. Remember, the goal of this event is sharing new techniques in the classroom and making new connections. So one last piece is eye contact that I'd like to share. It's a no-brainer, right, to give eye contact to your audience when you're speaking, but it is stressful to present to our peers. So scanning the audience and talking to them like they're our friends is a great technique. So some of the things to avoid are sitting behind the computer, maybe even talking to the computer and not to our audience. even talking to the PowerPoint accidentally with our back to the audience, reading from our notes. We call this shoegazing in public speaking. And obviously we don't do this in our classroom, but again, it's really stressful to present to our peers. So I just thought I'd point out a couple of those that we just want to avoid in the presentations at May Institute. We truly want to make connections and really impact our audience, our peers, help them see what we did that was so amazing and wonderful in our classroom, maybe even some ideas that we had to edit and change, but we're sharing and making connections with one another. And eye contact is one of those best ways that we can really make connections with our audience. So one more time about time element. The biggest challenge is going to be here. We're all good teachers, but it's so hard to stay on time when we're passionate about topics. Remember, the presentations are about 15 minutes long of the planned, prepared piece. We'll have 5 to 10 minutes of that Q&A after you present. Practice, practice, practice before the event so you know what you're going to be doing in your presentation. There will be a CETL helper in every one of the cohort rooms that will help you keep time. So don't worry about having to manage your time. There'll be a CETL helper with time cards that will flash the time cards as you're presenting. So I have one final challenge for you. Form connections with your peers. Go across your department, your divisions, make a new friend at the event. Note areas of similar interest. Maybe you are really interested in flipped classroom. Make a friend that's also interested in the flipped classroom or game-based learning or technology. Also pay attention to those vastly different content areas. These could be ways that you can make connections that you never thought of before, so look for that as well. Or maybe create a team and offer to do a presentation at one of the future PDW events. Do you still have questions? We're happy to answer them. Simply send us an email to CETL. It's cetl@ppcc.edu. We'll be happy to help you. See you at May Institute. Thank you.